The abyss of solitude, an empty street, flickering lamplight. A man, Omar, walks alone, his shoulders slump, his eyes, downcast, reflect a deep sadness. He is a stranger in his own life.
I remember a time before the loneliness, a time of laughter and friendship. I had believed in those bonds, cherished them, but they had crumbled, one by one.
His business partner, once a close friend, had cheated him. His family, blinded by greed, had turned their backs. Each betrayal cut deep, leaving wounds that refused to heal. Omar was left with nothing but the bitter taste of betrayal. Seeds of doubt, the first betrayal. Omar's small shop bustled with customers. He smiled, handing a child a sweet. This was his life, simple, honest. His partner, Khalil, emerged from the back room, their usual camaraderie evident.
One evening I discovered discrepancies in our accounts. Small at first, easily dismissed. But as days turned into weeks, the truth became undeniable. Khalil was stealing from me.
Confrontation was inevitable. Omar, his voice shaking with a mix of anger and hurt, accused Khalil. The denial was swift, followed by justifications, excuses. But Omar saw the guilt in his eyes, the confirmation of his betrayal. The crushing weight of lies. News of Omar's financial troubles spread through the family like wildfire. His brothers, once sympathetic, became distant. Their visits, once frequent, dwindled to nothing.
I was desperate. I turned to my family for help. A loan, a show of support, anything. But their response was cold, their eyes filled with a calculating glint.
They had heard the rumors, believed the lies spun by Khalil. They saw him as a failure, a burden. Their rejection, laced with thinly veiled disdain, was the final blow. The world Omar knew, the bonds he held dear, shattered around him. A glimmer of hope. Meeting Layla. Omar found himself drawn to a small tea stall on the edge of the market. Layla, the owner, was a woman of quiet strength and gentle eyes. Her smile, warm and genuine, offered a flicker of warmth in his cold reality.
Hello, Omar. It's good to see you again. How are you holding up?
In her presence I felt seen for the first time since my world crumbled. Slowly, tentatively, hope began to blossom in my heart.
Layla's kindness, her unwavering belief in him, offered a lifeline in the sea of loneliness. He clung to it, desperate for redemption, for a reason to believe in goodness again. A family forged the birth of 3. It was a moment that marked the beginning of a new chapter, a journey filled with love, challenges, and countless memories.
Layla and I married in a simple ceremony. It wasn't grand, but it was perfect for us. We exchanged vows in a small venue, surrounded by those who mattered most. Our love, it was like a beacon of light, growing stronger with each passing day. We found joy in the little things like walks in the park and quiet evenings at home.
3 children followed, each one bringing their own unique light into our lives. 2 boys, then a girl. They were our pride and joy, each one a precious gift.
I was once lost in my own pain, but fatherhood gave me a new purpose. It was as if a new light had been ignited within me, guiding me through the darkest times. I showered my children with love, my heart overflowing with a tenderness I thought I had lost forever. Their laughter was my greatest reward.
Omar would tell them stories of his past, always careful to emphasize the importance of loyalty, courage, and the strength to overcome any obstacle. Honesty and love. These were the values he held dear and wanted to pass on to his children.
I vowed to protect them from the pain I had endured. I wanted to shield them from the hardships I had faced, to give them a life filled with happiness and security.
The laughter of his children became his solace, their happiness his sole focus. Every smile, every giggle was a reminder of the beauty of life.
I built them a swing set, a symbol of the joy and freedom I wanted them to experience. Taught them to ride bikes, guiding them with patience and love as they wobbled and fell, only to get back up again, and filled their lives with joy. For a while the darkness receded, replaced by the warmth of family. Those moments were the brightest spots in our lives, a testament to the power of love and togetherness.
Whispers of the past trust erodes. The foundation of trust, once solid and unwavering, began to show cracks. Omar's past, a shadow he thought he had left behind, started to resurface, bringing with it a wave of uncertainty and doubt. Years passed, and a shadow began to creep back into Omar's eyes. The weight of his past decisions and the secrets he kept started to take a toll on him, manifesting in sleepless nights and a haunted expression that never seemed to leave his face. His children, no longer innocent toddlers, were growing into their teenage years. With adolescence came a new set of challenges, and their once unquestioning trust began to waver. They were no longer content with simple answers and began seeking the truth behind their father's guarded demeanor. Their youthful curiosity often manifested as questioning, challenging his authority. They wanted to understand the man behind the mask, the father who seemed to be hiding something significant from them.
Have you ever wondered about Dad's past? I mean, really wondered? What if there's more to his story than he's ever told us?
Yeah, it's like there's something he's not telling us. It's almost as if he's hiding a part of himself, a part that might explain everything.
He overheard his sons whispering about him, their words laced with doubt. The realization that his children were beginning to question his integrity struck him deeply. They questioned his past, the whispers of his failures echoing in their young voices. The seeds of doubt had been planted, and Omar feared they would grow into a chasm that could never be bridged.
Do you think he regrets anything? Do you think there's something he's hiding because he's ashamed?
Doubts, once suppressed, resurfaced in Omar's mind. He began to question his own actions, wondering if he had made the right choices or if he had doomed his family to repeat his mistakes. Had he poisoned his own children against him by sharing his pain? The thought tormented him, making him question every conversation, every moment of vulnerability he had shared with them. His daughter, once his biggest supporter, grew distant. The bond they shared seemed to weaken with each passing day, her once warm and understanding eyes now filled with suspicion. She began spending more time with friends, her laughter no longer reaching his ears. The distance between them grew, and Omar felt the sting of isolation. The fear of repeating the cycle of betrayal, of losing the only family he had left, gnawed at him. He was caught in a web of his own making, struggling to find a way out before it was too late. The walls close in children's betrayal. One evening, Omar returned home to find his house unusually quiet. The door was locked. He knocked, his heart pounding in his chest.
We don't want you here anymore, Father.
His eldest son opened the door, a look of defiance on his face.
We've heard the stories. You are a failure, a burden. We don't want to end up like you.
His other children stood behind their brother, their eyes downcast. His daughter, his little girl, wouldn't even meet his gaze. The rejection, the echo of his past, shattered Omar's heart into a million pieces. He had become a prisoner of his own pain, destined to repeat the cycle of betrayal. Embracing the darkness, the avenger rises. Omar wandered the streets, numb. The betrayal of his children, the final nail in the coffin of his humanity. He felt nothing but a chilling emptiness. The world had taken everything from him, his friends, his family, his hope, and in that emptiness something shifted within him.
The pain, it's turning into something else, something darker.
The pain morphed into a burning rage, a thirst for vengeance. He would no longer be the victim. He would become the instrument of his own justice. He found Khalil first, his former friend, now a prosperous merchant. There was no hesitation, no remorse in Omar's eyes as he exacted his revenge. The cycle had begun, a cycle fueled by pain, betrayal, and an unquenchable thirst for retribution. A cycle of pain, the final act, the culmination of a tragic journey where every decision, every action has led to this moment of reckoning. News of Khalil's demise spread fear, not justice. The community was shaken. Whispers of revenge and sorrow filled the air as the weight of his loss settled heavily on everyone. Omar, consumed by his transformation, became a phantom, targeting those who had wronged him. His brothers, consumed by guilt, were next. His once gentle demeanor was replaced by relentless pursuit of vengeance, a shadow of his former self. One chilly evening, Omar returned to his former home, the place where memories of laughter and warmth were now tainted by the coldness of betrayal and loss. His children were there, their faces etched with fear, recognizing the monster they had created. The innocence in their eyes was replaced by a haunting realization of the consequences of their actions. He stood before them, a silhouette in the doorway, his eyes burning with a cold fire. The silence between them was deafening, filled with unspoken words and shattered dreams.
Dad, what have you become? The child's voice trembled, a mix of confusion, fear, and a desperate need for answers.
He raised his hand, not to strike, but to touch their faces one last time. A gesture filled with sorrow and regret, a silent apology for the pain he had caused. The children flinched, bracing for the blow that never came. Their fear was palpable, a testament to the terror that had taken root in their hearts. In their eyes, Omar saw a reflection of his own pain, his own betrayal. The cycle of suffering was clear, a mirror of his own tormented soul. He turned and walked away, leaving them to live with the consequences of their actions, forever trapped in the same cycle of pain that had consumed him. The night swallowed him, but the echoes of his presence lingered, a haunting reminder of the choices that led them all to this final act.